want to make sure I get it. It's RaeQuan?
RaeQuan.
RaeQuan. Okay. Here we go with the student athletes from Montana State. Remember to please raise your hand. Let us know who you are, who you're with, and a reminder that recording the press conference on cell phones or cameras is prohibited. Who has the first question?
Hi guys, it's Victor Flores, 406 Sports. Just what are your kind of initial thoughts on Kansas State? What impresses you most about them?
Just the way that they rebound and the way they, way they attack the rim on ball screens and stuff. So it's gonna be hard for us to, or key for us to, make sure we're covering those ball screens the right way and getting on the boards.
Darius?
Definitely their pick and roll play. They're a very successful team off of pick and roll, and that's probably what stands out to me the most.
Jubrile?
Yeah, as they said, they're a key rebounding team. So, we got to lock in on the boards, and they use pick and roll primarily for their offense. So, we just got to focus on handling those two things.
Parker Cotton with the Bozeman Daily Chronicle. Obviously, Jubrile and RaeQuan, you've been on this stage before. Darius, you're new to the NCAA Tournament. I was speaking with Sprinkle last week, and he said, that when you're young, you can maybe take experiences like this for granted. Given that you're back here and here for the first time, how much are you all trying to avoid that and make sure that you soak this in as much as you can?
We'll start with Darius.
It is my first time, but being with guys like this all the time, it's really easy for me to kind of just act like I've been here before. But I'm enjoying all of it, and I'm ready to play tomorrow, and ready to play on the biggest stage, and that's the best part of all of this. So,
RaeQuan?
Given it being my second time here, last year I guess it kind of went by like that, especially how the first 5 minutes went of that game. And me being able to start and be on the floor pretty much majority of the time, I'm excited and I want to take every minute in and making sure we're in the right spot at the end of the game.
Jubrile?
It's second year, so I'm definitely excited to play. Last year I kind of feel like I had a different mindset towards this game because I was really hurt. So, rather than just soaking it in, I'm trying to, focus on the game, and, I'm excited to compete against these guys.
RaeQuan, I don't know if you know, but Tulalip just had a drumming circle and sending off for your mom and granddad to come see you play. What does it mean for you to have your tribe behind you and watching you during these games?
It means the world, man. Besides my immediate family, I can still go back to the reservation because the reservation won't go nowhere. And for them to, have a little event to send my mom and my grandparent off down here, to Greensboro is, it's a blessing for sure.
Let's go to our right, please.
Mitch Fortner from K-Man Radio in Manhattan, Kansas. As a team, what do you think is your best tool that gives you the best shot at taking down K-State?
Jubrile, lead us off.
I think we're an aggressive team. We are a big physical team. We drive the ball hard, we make the right plays, and we get to the line a lot, and that just comes off us being aggressive. We feed off our defense, we lock in on certain guys, and I think that's what gets us going the most is when we're getting stops.
Go ahead, RaeQuan.
I would just say our motor. Our motor is pretty good. We played 50 minutes the night before the championship game, and then bounced back and played another 40. So just having that motor and being able to keep playing no matter how long it is.
Darius?
I have to piggyback off of what JB said. Getting stops, get to the line a lot, and if we could balance that with a good shooting game, I think we're going to be all right.
To the left on the aisle.
Guys, Andrew Houghton, Skyline Sports. Darius, I think their point guard, Marquise Knoll, was a third-team All-American. What have you seen from him on tape? How excited are you for that matchup, to test yourself in that matchup?
Really excited. Really great pick-and-roll ball handler, can shoot it from anywhere. So it's going to be a test to me, and that's what we're here for, play on the biggest stage, and I'm excited.
To our left on the aisle.
Tim Everson from the Manhattan Mercury. I know you guys are one of the best free throw shooting teams in the country. Had that kind of become part of your guys' identity, and how much pride do you take in free throws?
There was a stretch where actually we weren't like the best free throw shooting team at one point. So coach kind of got on us about that and making sure we got in the gym every single day to, put up our free throws. And, we stayed consistent with that throughout the whole year, and the numbers show.
Jubrile, we'll talk about shooting free throws.
I mean, we don't obviously think we're gonna like get to the line a bunch of times before the game, but our mindset is just being aggressive on defense and offense. So, the aggressor always wins.
Darius?
Yeah, I think guys took it personal in practice. Like Ray said, we had a bad shooting stretch and free throws at the beginning of the year. Then in practice, we just started taking it personal, started actually locking in and focusing on our free throws. And I think ever since then, everything's been really good for us.
Back of the room, left.
For those of you guys who had the NCAA tournament experience last year, how does that help the second time around?
Just being able to take that experience and know that, this is like a win or lose tournament. So it's like the last, the party, of the whole season. So being able to take every moment in and being able to capitalize off what can lead us to a W.
Jubrile?
I just think, because we're experienced, we should have a better mindset about the game, be more focused, have more confidence, nerves start to kick in, when we're playing on a high stage. So, I think some of the guys, we have more confidence this time around because, we've been at the stage before. So I'm excited to see how we're going to produce.
Middle of the room.
Guys, Parker again. I read yesterday that Mick Durham made the travel with you all out here, and I'm curious if he's addressed the team at all, or regardless of that, just kind of what his presence means to maybe Coach Sprinkle to have him here.
I don't think he's addressed the team yet, but just having him, and not just only him, the rest of the, our Bobcat people behind us, means a lot. And just having that support system for us to go back to, especially at the hotel, and seeing them around. And like this morning I got up and they all said good morning to me and stuff. It was pretty cool to just have that support system with us.
Good.
For Jubrile and RaeQuan, you guys were here last year. Have you noticed a difference in how Coach Sprinkle has wanted to approach it this year, just being on this stage and playing in this game?
Jubrile?
Yeah, I think last year he also took into the account that, a couple of our guys was all banged up and coming off a lot of minutes during the season. So I think this time around he's like focused and giving us like the correct advice of, we're gonna guard everybody, we're gonna shock and bounce, we're gonna rebound, hit them first, be the aggressors, and we're approaching this like a winnable game too. So,
RaeQuan?
Yeah, he's definitely a little more fired up from last year because, especially coming off a even better record-wise season, we have a lot to prove when we got here, and we're not just gonna be one of those teams that's gonna lay down. We're just gonna punch back.
Middle of the room.
Ashley Washburn, MTN Sports. Jubrile, this is for you. You had mentioned about, being banged up last year. You obviously had off-season surgery. You're back here. I know that there's a lot that you want to redeem. How are you feeling, especially after having that first practice today?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling confident about our guys, about our, schemes to try and guard their actions. And at the end of the day, I'm confident in our team, and I think that we have good enough players, to, fight. And I believe that we are going to fight.
Any other questions?
Austin Barr, SWX Montana. This is for all you guys. Coach Sprinkle talks about a lot of, why not us with the motto and why not you guys being able to win this game. So obviously he has confidence in you guys. And how do how does it feel to have a head coach that just backs you guys so much heading into this game?
We'll go left to right. Jubrile?
Sprinkle does a great job, giving us advice and telling us, that we're good enough to play at certain levels. And he also, is great giving them confidence, too. So, whenever our guys are out there playing with each other, we, see that he trusts us, which is, the most important thing. And, there's times where we're out there running plays ourselves and he doesn't even have to do anything. So, just that trust gives everybody confidence.
RaeQuan?
Yeah, just to piggyback off of Brill, it's just that trust. and it's just all year. It started from the jump too. He trusts us from the beginning of the season, and now we're here closing at the end. So he wants to ride that trust all the way and see if we can get a couple wins.
Darius.
Sprinkle always talks about how all the work that we put in and how, we deserve to be in positions like this because of the work we put in. So I think it's just, that trust in him knowing knowing what we've done to get here and stuff like that. So, it's really huge to have that trust behind, your coach.
We have a couple more minutes if there are any other questions out there. Back of the room.
Hey guys, I guess for Darius, they turn the ball over a lot, and you, of course, get a lot of steals. Is there anything you've seen specifically that you think you can attack with their offense as far as turning the ball over?
Nothing in specific. It's a lot of things that happen, at least in my head, is like all just in-game adjustments and stuff like that. Stuff that I see that happens during the game. And then I don't know what type of game plan they're coming with. They could change things. They could do things the same. I don't know, but steals, at least the off-ball ones and stuff like that, it usually just comes in just what I read and what I see during the game. Nothing really pops out to me like that.
Last question.
For all you guys, it's been, I think, 9 days since you guys last played in a game. How have you handled the layoff? What have you guys been working on this last week plus?
We'll go right to left this time.
It's really just been sticking to our principles. We had a couple of days before we found out we were playing Kansas State, so it was just sticking to our principles. Playing defensive alignments, all that type of stuff, just getting a lot of shots up, resting our bodies, but still conditioning, making sure we're all good. So it was just a lot of that stuff.
RaeQuan?
Yeah, it's just making sure we're doing what we got to do. Like you said, we had a couple of days before we found out we knew. And even after we knew who we was going to play, we still, our practice plan was the same. We ain't changed nothing. So we just keep doing what we got to do.
Jubrile, you get the last word.
And yeah, working on principles helps our team, stay on the right track in terms of guarding certain actions. So, we've just been working on our bodies, getting treatment, watching film, and just doing all the things we can to prepare for a game. So,
All right. Thank you, guys. Go get them tomorrow.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Brought your whole locker with you, didn't you? That's.
We gotta get some more shots up, man.
Good luck. Go get them. Good job.
Thank you.
Yep. Coach, how you doing? You guys did a good job. Danny Smith. Yep.
General comments, and then we'll take questions. Whenever you're ready.
Perfect. Okay. Obviously our program's really excited to be here for the second straight year. Obviously, we know we have a quality opponent, a top 10 team in the country that's been tremendous all year. Our guys have been working hard. I think we're ready to compete at a different level. I like the way our Big Sky Championships went this year, where we actually have more time between the championship game and the first round. Last year, it kind of snuck up on us pretty fast. 3 days later, it seemed like we were playing Texas Tech, where we've had about a week now to kind of get our legs back a little bit and prepare a little bit more and clean up some weaknesses of our team. And we'll see where it falls tomorrow night at 9:40.
Okay, questions. Raise your hand. Let's get the mics to you. Again, reminder, let us know who you are, who you're with. First one, middle of the room.
Hey, Danny. Parker Cotton with the Bozeman Daily Chronicle. John Calipari was in here about 2 hours ago, and he said two things that really kind of stuck out to me. One is that every coach in this tournament has some butterflies, and every coach in the country has a difficult job. I'm curious, as you go into your second NCAA tournament as a coach, are the butterflies any more present or different than they were last year? And from this year to last year, how was your job any harder?
Yeah, I mean, similar. You get nervous for every game. You wonder, you just kind of go back through everything, and you want to make sure you have your team prepared, which I do think we do. I think our guys had a great week of practice. But the butterflies, hopefully they never go away. You get that nervous competitiveness, and I don't think my job's any more difficult this year than it was last year. Obviously, we had kind of a bullseye on us this year in our league play from the season we had previous, but we have so many new guys which kept it fresh, which we wanted to get them a championship, which we did, and now it's time to have them experience. But I think the experience from last year will help us. Hopefully tomorrow night. It was kind of a little bit of shock and awe last year, and like I mentioned, it happened so fast from Sunday to, I think we played on Friday morning early last year, and so, hopefully our guys are ready, to compete tomorrow night.
Back left.
Andrew Houghton, Skyline Sports. Coach Jerome Tang said in his press conference that he knows that this hasn't been a 1 week or 3 day preparation for you guys. Would you agree with that? And just how happy are you to be back on this stage after what happened last year?
You said that it hasn't been a...
He says you guys have basically been preparing for this game for the entire year. I mean, since the loss to Texas Tech last year. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, no question. Especially, guys like Jubrile, guys that went through that game last year. And I know Jubrile, he wasn't healthy last year. He had a torn knee when he played in that game. And so I know he's really looking forward to showing what he can do. But yeah, we prepare to play in the NCAA tournament every year. It starts in the summer with the new team, and we talk about it from the first day we start practicing in June. And then I already forgot the second part of your question.
You answered it really well, but just how happy are you to be back on this stage, getting a chance, like you said, to show what you can do again on this stage after what happened last year?
Yeah, I mean, it's exciting. It's exciting for everybody in Bozeman, our whole campus, our players. When you play in a one-bid league, like this is what you play for. You play for those 3 days in your conference tournament, and to come away successful again and to have this opportunity, especially after last year. I don't think we represented ourselves or our league that, score-wise. I know we competed against a great team, but I think our guys have a little bit of a chip on their shoulder and want to play better than we did last year.
Back of the room.
Hey, Danny. Victor Flores, 406 Sports. I guess what stands out most to you about Kansas State? What do they do especially well, specifically?
I think they play really well together. Like, they play so fast. If you turn the ball over, that thing's through the net within 2 seconds. And their point guard's terrific. Keontae Johnson, Tomlin. The more I watch film, Tomlin's tremendous. They have a lot of NBA players and talent and length on that team. But I think they play really well together. And, they hit the portal really hard also last year. He probably did as well as anybody in the country attacking the portal. And to get those guys to play together and to mesh and to have the season they've had is phenomenal.
Alex Sharon, Toledo TV. Coach, last year you mentioned, the start wasn't that great. Then RaeQuan came in and hit a couple shots. How did you get RaeQuan to take what he did in that game last year and bring it in as a starter this year?
Yeah, I probably should have started him last year too, huh? But I think, he's just that type of player. He's got a flair for the dramatic, and he just, he loves this stage. You can see it in every championship game. Like, he's going to show up. But he's not a kid you have to motivate. Like, he loves games like this, and he grew up, obviously playing at University of Washington, and even this year playing at Arizona, at Grand Canyon, at Oregon. Like, those are the games that he really shows up.
Back of the room.
Danny, I'm curious how meaningful it is for you personally to have Mick Durham with you along on this trip.
Yeah, it's awesome. I wouldn't be at Montana State without him. He took a chance on a kid from Helena, Montana, and gave me a scholarship and really set the stage for the rest of my career, playing-wise and coaching-wise. And so, yeah, I'm really happy that he was able to come, him and his wife, Donna. It obviously means the world to me because I'm not here without him.
To our left.
Tim Everson, Manhattan Mercury. Coach, can you talk about how you guys have grown throughout the season and gotten better?
Yeah, I think a lot of it started, we're the road warriors. It's hard to get home games for us. And so we have to go on the road. And we played really good teams from Long Beach State to Southern Utah who played in their conference championship. And I already mentioned the Grand Canyons, the Oregons, Arizonas. We played a great tournament up in Montreal, against UNC Greensboro, Quinnipiac, and Middle Tennessee. And we lost all 3 games up there. All 3, kind of came down to the last 2 minutes. But I think that tournament kind of set the stage for us. It kind of humbled us a little bit, but it also exposed some of our weaknesses. that, I think we've lost 4 games since that point. That was right around Thanksgiving. But I knew it would take a little bit of time with 2, transfer point guards that were hurt the previous year. They were out for 8 months with injuries. And so I knew it was going to take a little while to get them, into shape, get their, kind of work the kinks out and adjust to a new style. And I knew right around Christmas time we would probably start coming together as a team, and we did. But it's all with, Jubrile, Belo, and RaeQuan's leadership too, and making sure those new guys knew the culture that they were coming into and holding those guys to that standard.
Middle of the room.
Ashley Washburn, MTN Sports. Coach, being back on the stage for a second year, are you seeing a different type of confidence that this team is coming in with, being able to go to San Diego last year and then come back this year around?
I think so, and I think a lot of it is due to our health. I mentioned Jubrile played last year's game with a torn knee, and our point guard Xavier Bishop was playing with a broken foot that we didn't know about. So both of them had surgery right after. So we're a little bit healthier this year. But I think just those experience, and even with the transfers we have coming in, they're fifth-year transfers. So they're older, like they've been through big games and big moments before. And so I know they're just excited, and I'm expecting us to play really well tomorrow night.
Middle of the room.
Austin Parr, SWX Montana. Coach, turnovers were a big problem for Kansas State kind of in the last couple games. So just curious if there's anything that you've seen on the film that, like in a matchup that you can exploit, whether it's Darius, obviously Defensive Player of the Year, or with some of the guards on the Bobcats that, can take advantage of some of these matchups.
Yeah, I don't think necessarily like exploit them or take advantage. Like we just have to play hard, and we got to scramble around. We have to continue to, use our principles and guard how we guard. And, if there is some turnovers, great. If not, we need to make them score over us. We can't let them get offensive rebounds or easy layups at the rim. We have to make them score over bodies, and then we got to rebound it when they miss it.
Again, middle of the room.
Danny, there's been a lot of talk in recent weeks or months about the potential for this tournament to expand. You've talked about kind of the challenges of being in a one-bid league. I'm curious if you have any opinions on the merits or drawbacks of expanding this tournament.
Yeah, I like it how it is. I like it how it is because it's, it's a big-time accomplishment getting to the NCAA tournament. It's an honor to play in this tournament. And, I think if it gets too big, it kind of waters down that honor of having. Where teams like us, only one team in the league gets it, Would you like to have 2? Yeah, but, it's something special for that one team from each of our leagues that get to go to it.
Again, same row there.
Hey, Danny.
Now, I know it'll be a lot more money for everybody else, but it takes away some of the prestige, I think.
Just on defense, it seems like they're very good at stopping the three, and rebounding is one thing RaeQuan pointed out. Does that stand out to you too, or are there any other things defensively that really stand out?
Yeah, I think just their length and their athleticism, and obviously their point guard, he's tremendous. Watching film of him, and he's got some of the quickest hands, I've seen. If you cross over or you put that ball in front of them, it's gone. And, then their length and their athleticism at the rim, which, a lot of Power Fives have it, but they do a tremendous job flying around. Their ball screen defense, I think, is really good. And so they make it hard to score over them. You got to be really strong with the basketball and crisp with your passes, or they're gonna turn you over. And like I said, they're gonna score that within 2 seconds.
Same row, aisle.
Danny, you've touched on this in a couple answers already, but they've got an All-American point guard in Marquise Knoll. What do you think of that matchup with Darius? And, what has Darius brought to the team for you guys this year as a new transfer this year?
Yeah, it's going to be a great matchup. Noel, he's so fast and quick. He's hard for, every guard to guard him, and it's going to be a team deal guarding him. He's coming off ball screens or in transition to where, sometimes you can't just leave Darius on an island guarding him. He's too good of a player to do that. And so, he's got to be able to see the help in the gaps, and he's got to be able to see Jubrile in order to stop him. And Darius, he's brought a lot of leadership to our team. His personality, he's got kind of an infectious personality. He's very even keel, it was hard for me for about the first 2 months coaching him, because I'm getting fired up, and I try to coach with an edge, and I'd see, and he'd be like, Coach, okay. And I'd be like, no, like, you don't get it. Like, you know what I'm trying to get to you. And the more I started to learn about him and coach him, like, he still has that fire in him, even though he's not showing it. And he still has a great leadership quality to where, he's really good talking to his teammates throughout the game and making sure that they're on kind of that even keel also.
Third row.
Alex Sharon, Toledo TV. You mentioned this a little bit with, how you get fired up and stuff. How do you balance getting through to the guys during the game, talking to them in their game, and letting them choose for themselves and play throughout the game? I mean, I heard at the end of the Big Sky tournament, RaeQuan or someone was the one that called that play to get the final basket. Do you let them decide how they want to go about the game, like when it's going on?
Yeah. I think you don't become a championship team until the players take ownership of it. And, the last couple teams that we've had, like the players took great ownership of if somebody's not executing, they take care of it too. Like obviously we're going to coach them, and if I see, we're going to correct it, but it's better when Jubrile tells Great Osabar, no, you got to do this. This is what's going to help you. And when RaeQuan says that, now we had actually had that play called a couple times earlier in that game, the back cut. In fact, the one when Darius had a wide open jump shot to win the game, and Ray was cutting back door and was wide open too. And so, Ray, he saw it and he's like, Coach, I'm going to be open on this back cut. Just have Jubrile chip his guy, and we ran it again, and obviously it ended up winning the game for us. But players see things in the game that a lot of times you can see stuff as a coach, but they feel it, like they're out there. And no matter what, I trust them. Even if he called something and it didn't work, I'm going to trust RaeQuan or Jubrile with their experience, and I want them to have that ownership.
Back right.
Coach Mitch Fortner from K-Man Radio Manhattan. So later in the season, Jerome Tang went to a 3-guard lineup and added Desi Sills, number 13, to the lineup. And that guy's a ball of energy. He had 4 blocks in the first half against TCU.
They were
the
all
Big 12.
big-time blocks. They weren't just like blocks. Those things were, ooh.
I wanted to know, but your opinion on him.
Yeah, he's tremendous. He's very quick. He's one of those guys that's really hard to guard because he's so aggressive, offensively and defensively. Even when he drives that thing, like he's driving that with some intent to get that thing to the rim. He's a tremendous player. He's another guy, like you have to be wary of him, or he's going to get 18 to 20 on you by just effort. Like they run stuff, for him too, but the effort plays that he makes, those can change a game. And like you said, some of those plays he had against, TCU in that tournament game were unbelievable.
Okay. Thank you, Coach.
You bet. Thank you.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Good job. You bet. Thank you. Appreciate it.